Cyclopes. In Greek mythology, Cyclopes was a member of a primordial race of giants that served the gods. They were represented with only one eye and often were brilliant forgers. The name is widely thought to mean circle-eyed. Polyphemus was the most famous Cyclops, and he is son of Poseidon, the god of the sea. Polyphemus is a shepherd and a cannibal who was blinded by the hero Odysseus, a legendary Greek king of Ithaca and the hero of Homer's epic poem the Odyssey. In the Theogony by Hesiod, Zeus releases three Cyclopes: Brontes, Thunderer, Steropes, Lightning, and the bright Argus, were the primordial sons of Uranus, Sky, and Gaia, Earth, and brothers of the Hecatonchyres. As such, they were blood related to the Titan and Olympian gods and goddesses. They were giants with a single eye in the middle of their forehead and a foul disposition. According to Hesiod, they were strong and stubborn. Collectively they eventually became synonyms for brute strength and power, and their name was invoked in connection with massive masonry. Uranus, fearing their strength, locked them in Tartarus. Cronus, another son of Uranus and Gaia, later freed the Cyclopes, along with the Hecatonchyres, after he had overthrown Uranus. Cronus then placed them back in Tartarus, where they remained, guarded by the female dragon camp, until freed by Zeus. They fashioned thunderbolts for Zeus to use as weapons, and helped him overthrow Cronus and the other titans. The lightning bolts, which became Zeus's main weapons, were forged by all three Cyclopes. In that Argus added brightness, Brontes added thunder, and Steropes added lightning. These Cyclopes also created Poseidon's trident, Artemis's bow and arrows of moonlight, Apollo's bow and arrows of sun rays, and Hades's helmet of darkness that was given to Perseus on his quest to kill Medusa. And the gods used these weapons to defeat the Titans. According to a hymn of Callimachus, they were Hephaestus' helpers at the forge. The Cyclopes were said to have built the Cyclopean fortifications of Tiryns and Mycenae in the Peloponnese. The noises proceeding from the heart of volcanoes were attributed to their operations. According to Euripides' play Alcestis, Apollo killed the Cyclopes, in retaliation for Asclepius's murder at the hands of Zeus. For this crime, Apollo was then forced into the servitude of Admetus for 1 year. Other stories after Euripides tell that Zeus later returned Asclepius and the Cyclopes from Hades. This was after the year of Apollo's servitude had passed. Zeus pardoned the Cyclopes and Asclepius from the underworld, despite them being dead. Even though Hades is lord of the dead and they are his prisoners, Hades as well does not ever allow any of his souls to leave the underworld. But Zeus could not bear the loss of the Cyclopes, for they were the biggest reason why the Olympians assumed power. Zeus resurrected Asclepius at the request of Apollo, so that their feud would end. The Sicilian Greek poet Theocritus wrote 2 poems 275 BC concerning Polyphemus' desire for Galatea, a sea nymph. When Galatea instead married a Sicilian mortal, a jealous Polyphemus killed him with a boulder. Galatea turned a sea blood into a river of the same name in Sicily. Virgil, the Roman epic poet, wrote in Book 3 of the Aeneid of how Aeneas and his crew landed on the island of the Cyclopes. After escaping from Troy at the end of the Trojan War, Aeneas and his crew land on the island, when they are approached by a desperate Greek man from Ithaca, Echemenides, who was stranded on the island a few years previously with Odysseus' expedition, as depicted in the Odyssey. Virgil's account acts as a sequel to Homer's, with the fate of Polyphemus as a blind Cyclops after the escape of Odysseus and his crew. The Indian War of Dionysus was told about when Rhea, the mother of Zeus, asked a large group of rustic gods and spirits to join Dionysus's army. The Cyclopes played a big part. King Nereides was the leader of the nation of India, and the Cyclopes were said to crush most of his troops. It is explained in Nonnus Dionysica that the Cyclopes killed many men in the war, which is also the only story that tells how they fight. They are the same as of the giants, who tried to overthrow Zeus. Walter Burkert among others suggests that the archaic groups, or societies of lesser gods, mirror real cult associations. It may be surmised that Smith guilds lie behind Cabiri, Ida and Dactyloi, Telechenes, and Cyclopes, given their penchant for blacksmithing. Many scholars believe the legend of the Cyclopes single eye arose from an actual practice of blacksmiths wearing an eye patch over one eye, to prevent flying sparks from blinding them in both eyes. The Cyclopes seen in Homer's Odyssey are of a different type from those in the Theogony, and they have no connection to blacksmithing. It is possible that independent legends associated with Polyphemus did not make him a Cyclops before Homer's Odyssey. Polyphemus may have been some sort of local demon or monster in original stories. Another possible origin for the Cyclops legend, advanced by the paleontologist Athenio Abel in 1914, is the prehistoric dwarf elephant skulls, about twice the size of a human skull, that may have been found by the Greeks on Cyprus, Crete, Malta, and Sicily. Abel suggested that the large central nasal cavity, for the trunk, in the skull might have been interpreted as a large single eye socket. Given the inexperience of the locals with living elephants, they were unlikely to recognize the skull for what it actually was. Veratrum album, or white hellebore, an herbal medicine described by Hippocrates before 400 BC, contains the alkaloids cyclopamine and gervine, which are teratogens capable of causing cyclopia and holoprosencephaly. Students of teratology have raised the possibility of a link between this developmental deformity in infants and the myth for which it was named. Regardless of the connection between the herb and the birth abnormalities, it is possible these rare birth defects may have contributed to the myth. In fiction, the Cyclops is a minor antagonist from the Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. He has the legs of a goat, the lips of a camel, the jagged teeth of a boar, and the claws of a lion. This Cyclops begins to attempt to roast and eat Sinbad and his crew. However, he is distracted by the other men, but kills many of them. Sinbad quickly takes a burning stick and jabs it into the Cyclops' eye, then lures it over a cliff to its death. Later, when Sinbad and Princess Parissa escape from the evil magician's cave, they encounter a two-horned Cyclops, which follows them inside the cave. Sinbad releases the dragon to fight the dangerous Cyclops, enabling him and the princess to escape. Finally, the Cyclops is killed by the dragon. The Cyclopes are also the minor antagonists in the Percy Jackson The Olympians book and film series. They are one-eyed giants with great strength, created by Poseidon,